App developers are the most like confident and just like so out of touch with reality people I think I've known. Like a lot of app developers.
What's a bad app? Have you have any good bad app stories?
I don't have any bad app stories, but oh well, yeah, I do. There was this company. I don't want to say the name.
Sure.
But it's bullshit how easy it is to like. The thing about apps is why companies are so successful with them is because there's a young guy who's 24 who has this brilliant app idea. And then he goes to 10 investors who are all in their late 50s who don't understand jack shit about apps, who don't understand anything, but they have billions of dollars in their pocket. And then they go to them and they go, hey, I have this app idea. It does this. And I'm going to get it off the ground because I know David Dobrik, and he has 8 million subscribers on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And if he shouts it out once, that means at least half of the people are going to go download this app. Uh-huh. So right off the gate, you have 4 million downloads right there, which is not true. If I shout out an app, you'll get maybe 0.5% of my audience going to it.
Sure.
Maybe not even. But these older guys, these older investors don't understand that. They don't get that. They don't get how social media works, and they assume that there's a younger guy coming to them talking to them about an app. They assume that this guy knows everything. And they're like, that's brilliant. I love this. You have David Dobrik. You have a top influencer on this program. Here's $10 million. Yeah. And that's what they do. And this is what happened with one of the apps I used to work with. I never worked with them because they never gave us a job. They spent all their money on rent for a big house. They spent $40,000 a month for this house, and they would throw a party every other day at this house. And they would get performances from like Tyga, Kylie Jenner would come out. And it was called let's say that I don't want to say the app's name, but let's say it was called Carpet. The house was called the Carpet House. Right. Like it was named after the app. Mm-hmm. And there was a big LED sign right in the front of the house that said the app's name. And every other night they would have huge parties for like 2 months straight. Wow. Ginormous parties and like big like Ray Sherman would come. And like Tyga would come, Kylie Jenner would come. And the only way the way you'd have to get into the party is you have to download the app. And that's how they would spend the money. And these app influencers, all they heard was, this is an app that kids are gonna love. They have no idea what kids love because they don't fucking understand apps because they still work on their sidekicks. And then you have these young kids who are quote unquote entrepreneurs who are 26 and who are spending money on Tyga and all these people. So like all these people in LA get rich off these apps that they have in development that never take off. So you have all these app development. Like when you're an app developer, you can ask for money from an investor, and cut yourself a large check and never even have your app see the light of day. You can go to an investor and be like, I have this idea, give me all this money, and then cut yourself a check for $1 million, and then the app never goes through, and the investor's like, well, that's what I invest. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Right.
And no one gets pissed, but these app investors have so much money. These app developers have so much money. And
probably back then, too, like there's so many apps now, but before it was probably really great in the beginning.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I have this idea, I have this idea, I have this idea.
And it's so shit because none of these ideas are actually fucking like profitable, but these people like either they know they're not profitable and they're scamming all these investors, or they are profitable and I don't know. Regardless, the whole thing is pretty fucking botched. But there's a lot of different ways to make money in LA, which is kind of scary. I mean, your life's probably been filled with full fake opportunities.
Yeah, so many things like that.
That's why LA is fucking scary. I've been to meetings where I've talked to people and they've promised me good things, and I have literally told them to their face, I'm like, I know this isn't going to happen. Like, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
Like, this is, like, can we get this done in the next 3 weeks? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, I bet your fucking ass we won't get it done in the next 3 weeks.
Right.
Like, I've been in meetings where I've been like, you're not going to get this done.
Yeah.
Like, you're fronting. Like, this isn't a real thing. Like, that's not how LA works. It's crazy. Nothing in LA, some things get done overnight, like your amazing workout gym deal, which is like one in a billion. One in a billion.
Yeah.
But everything in LA, I haven't even been here that long, but it takes months to get going. It's not like having. That's why YouTube is so special, is because you have an idea and you're just like, I'm gonna fucking run with it, and you do it. But in LA, shit takes months of development, and it's horrible. It's horrible, and it always falls through too. It's not like it takes months and it's a guaranteed thing. It takes months, and there's chances of it falling through at every fucking step.
I had a funny meeting once with some social media guys who were starting an app, and I met with them on Melrose, and they were there. They're like, we have the new thing. This is what everyone's going to be doing. He's like, and you're going to be the first one in. And he pulls out a baseball hat with a camera on the hat, and he was like, when you sign up for our app, he's like, everyone's going to be wearing these. So I was like, okay, so everyone's just gonna be walking around with hats with cameras.
Like it's like a baseball cap with a GoPro on it.
Yeah. It was a very tiny GoPro, and they gave me one, and like I used it in a couple vines with Brandon, but they were so sure that this was going to be like, and I was like, well, you can't do that. You can't just walk around filming everybody, or at least make it hidden so no one can see it.
Oh,
no one wants to talk to you. You can see the camera on the brim of your hat.
I auditioned once for. I don't know if I've talked about.
Didn't you have a big audition recently?
No.
Oh. A couple months ago, you did.
No, not really. I was in a big audition, but I auditioned once for those commercials on like. I may have talked about this actually. Those commercials on like the radio and on TV, and it goes, do you or your child want to be a Nickelodeon star and star in your favorite TV shows like Drake and Josh, iCarly? You know those?
Yeah.
You know that commercial, right?
Yeah.
It's like a pretty fucking popular commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was just like, I was in the car with my mom, and I'm like, yes, I want to be on Nickelodeon like Drake and Josh and iCarly. And like, I've always wanted to be an actor as a kid.
Yeah.
But like, I really didn't talk about it much. I asked my mom to like have me like audition for it.
Yeah.
And we went in. And I was
You went to Chicago?
Yeah.
Like downtown?
We went downtown to audition for it.
Yeah.
I was in a room like with like 40 kids and 40 parents. Like it was just a huge waiting room. It was like the biggest doctor's office you'll ever see. And I went in to audition, and they had me read a couple things, and like it was super, like there wasn't a script. They just had me read in the moment, and they were like, act scared. And then they were like, okay, now act happy. And like I was doing all this stuff. And I was like, whatever, I fucking did all right. I was a kid, so I don't know how I was.
How old were you?
I was like 13.
Oh, that's so interesting.
I was like, I don't know how I acted. I probably did like shit, and I know I did like shit. And then 5 days later, my mom gets a call, and we had one of those phones where you can pick up from another part of the house and listen in.
Yeah.
So my mom was on the phone downstairs, and I was on the phone upstairs.
Yeah.
And my mom gets a call, and I'm listening because I know it's from them. Because my mom's like, pick up the phone. They're on the phone. And they're like, hi, Mrs. Dobrik? She's like, yes. And they're like, we loved your son. Absolutely. The producers, everyone loved your son so much.
Really?
We want him back. We want to work with him more. And my mom just fucking screamed. She was like, ah! Like that. And it was so fucking exciting.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was like the best moment ever.
And then what happened?
And then we went back to they're like, come back, let's have one more meeting, let's figure this out, this is great. Like they were so fucking excited. And then we went back and like we sat down with someone in like an office, and they're like, yeah, we loved it so much, we're so excited. And they're like, we want him to be ready for television. And then they pulled out a packet of like proposed pricing options.
No.
Yeah, for like acting classes.
No.
And like, we want him to be ready, so he can do this 3-month thing for $7,000, or he can do this 2-month thing for $3,000.
Oh,
yeah,
that's heartbreaking.
Yes, it's all a fucking scam. It's all a scam.
So it wasn't Nickelodeon.
No,
it wasn't like Nickelodeon Chicago. Because I was like, I don't think Nickelodeon's in Chicago.
No, I mean, I'm sure people that work at this like acting place have worked at Nickelodeon, and that's how they get away with it. But it was all a fucking scam. And it's still on the radio. Like it still plays.
It's a total scam.
And does some have people maybe come out of it and been on Nickelodeon? Maybe, but it's just to get you to sign up for this acting stuff.
That happened to my mother and father with modeling. My mother got modeling shots, and she brought them home, and they talked her into paying $250. My dad yelled at her, so he went down there.
I remember this. Your dad flipped at your mom.
Yeah, and
paying money for modeling shots.
Yeah, the same thing happened to them.
And then what happened with your dad?
And then they talked my dad into it.
Your dad went down there to yell at him.
Yeah. My dad goes, "Yeah, well, I was the only one who got work." He goes, and my mom was like, "No, you didn't." She's like, "I got work." 2 models.
Wait, but your dad went down there to yell at him.
Yeah.
Like, you ripped my wife off.
Yeah.
And then they were just.
And then they talked him into a photo shoot. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's only funny because it's my dad.